Samson
and Judy's Bake and Bake.
Macarons, waffle with cream, chiffon cakes that a lot is a dream.
Now, throughout most of Ace Attorney Investigations 2, I'm not usually going to make comparisons to the fan-translated version because 1, I haven't exposed myself to that much the fan-made version, and 2, there's really no point in doing that. Capcom has finally given us an official English localization of the game 13 years after its initial release in Japan. The fact that it took so long kind of made it inevitable that fans would translate the game for those who don't speak Japanese. Now, first order of business, what's up with this title? In the fan-translated version, the culinary show that's the center of attention in the Inherited Turnabout, as it's called there, is Piece of Cake, which fits the culinary theme the show is going for, but the show wasn't just a culinary show for kids. It was a musical culinary show for kids. They cook while singing and dancing. The original title of the show in Japanese is Dance Sweet, mixing the words dance and sweet. Thank Capcom for Bacon Bop. The second order of business in regards to the show is the theme song. It flows perfectly fine in the official translation by Capcom, but then take a look at the fan-made version. It looks more like they directly translated the lyrics from Japanese. I can't really confirm it myself, but that's exactly what it looks like. You can at least put effort into making it rhyme. I'm not kidding. I haven't found a single rhyme in the fan-made version of this theme song. Not even one. Now, let me make something clear, both of these sins aren't about how the fan-made version handles the translation to English, because the official translation is my real focus here. The reason for these sins is because it took Capcom 13 years to give us not only a proper title to fit both important elements of the show, but also proper lyrics to said show's theme song.
It was 18 years ago, smack dab in the middle of a real doozy of a winter. The buildings were covered with a blanket of snow. Looked like the streets were lined with popsicles.
In Los Angeles, California? Does that sound right to anyone? Believe me, I live in California, and in my area, which is in a county adjacent to Los Angeles, I haven't seen any snowfall in that particular county, or even Los Angeles. I'd be much more willing to believe the idea of snowfall in the English localization of Ace Attorney if it wasn't set in California.
My name is Gregory Edgeworth. I'm a defense attorney.
Let me guess, Fender's reading most of this out of Gregory's diary. No, not Gregory Heffley, because he calls it a journal.
A murder on Christmas Eve? What's the world coming to?
You think that's bad? Try a terrorist attack on Christmas Eve.
Macarons, waffles with cream, chiffon cakes that a lot is a dream.
Laugh and sing, smile, it's true. All that sweetness waiting for you.
I feel like it would have been a proper courtesy for Samson to sing the first part and have Fender sing Judy's part. I mean, after that first stanza, the whole thing goes like normal, with Samson singing his lines and Fender doing the rest. But still, first stanza is a complete role reversal.
What? The sauce is cold.
Yes, it's so that the tea cools down more quickly, I'm afraid. Some of our guests don't like it too hot.
I wonder how this line went in the Japanese version. Much the same? Because if there's something I learned from the Great Ace Attorney, the Japanese have a little saying, drink tea while it's hot.
The fans on the scene already. That was fast.
Oh, buddy, you don't know the half of it.
The detective in charge is named Bad, a man of few words.
Funny, because Bad's not the corrupt one behind IS-7.
Seems she heard something breaking and came in to see what it was.
You'd think we'd immediately have it figured out what broke just looking at the scene, but no, the game's not that simple. So they can print pictures in color in 2000, yet in 2016, 2018, it seemed we only got black and white photos. Even in 2026, there were still photos in black and white.
I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention.
Like father, like son, leaves me double the duty to scour the footage and send every uttering of this line, whether father or son.
Every single item in this room is edible.
Even I'm edible, but that would be cannibalism, which is generally frowned upon in most societies.
What can you tell us about her?
Ruthless, brutal. There's nothing she wouldn't do to win.
Sounds like a certain prosecutor I know.
It's a real head scratch, all right.
Not really. I'm guessing there was wore gloves.
Aw, where's your sense of romance, of adventure?
There doesn't tend to be much of either at a crime scene, Eddie.
Gregory Edgeworth would be amazing at CinemaSins. Oh, how nice of you, game, giving us a piece of evidence we're never going to present this whole episode.
Which is why he deliberately didn't lock his room. And why he smashed in the lid of the treasure chest, so the body was on full display.
I feel like that kind of loud noise would make it easy for someone to walk in on you setting up the crime scene the way described.
I wonder just how old she is.
How mysterious could Delicious Scone be so that her age isn't even listed in the court record?
Your job is to lose to me and disappear, never to show your sniveling face again.
No, my job is to fight back against your ugly butt and make the case I need. Whether I win or lose, I'll still be a defense attorney. Don't tell me how to run my career regardless of status. I will take that crap to my grave, even if you force me into said grave.
You have a son, Mr. E?
I do. He's still in elementary school, and yet he'd rather read a statute book than a fairy tale. I can't help but worry that his interests will make it hard for him to make friends.
Give it 3 months, Gregory. He'll stand up for someone who's accused of stealing his lunch money and also befriend the real thief.
2 big rock crystals. Looks like somebody was using the council for storage.
Did they just type the word "the" twice? Did they momentarily bring in Porky Pig for the localization script? Nah, he would have typed the word "the" way more times.
She really opened up the moment we started talking about her trinkets.
Please don't ask the fans to take lines out of context.
Thank you ever so much, Paddykins, and you, Officer Lovely.
She's even given nicknames to the forensics guys now.
I guess it's her way of showing that she cares.
So, what about this is supposed to be relaxing exactly?
Oh, don't be a big sourpuss, Paddy B. The fun's only just beginning. Officer Lovely, you can switch it on now.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, thank goodness. I was worried about what kind of sordid scene may have been taking place under cover of a black screen.
Is it Mr. Von Karma? Did something happen between you two?
Why, yes. Nothing's happened at all.
But you just said yes.
Tee-hee-hee, that was a hello yes. Oh, you silly boy.
The British language is confusing.
And where was this afternoon tea served?
Oh, out in the garden, of course. There's a lovely little one just outside.
Out in the freezing, snowy cold?
But today, only me, Samson Sillypants, and Moody Judy were there for it. Sammy Poople had already finished his big creation, so he was there the whole time.
Okay, are you calling him Samson Sillypants or Sammy Poople? Pick one and stick with one.
I didn't want poor Sammy Poople getting upset, so it's just the teeniest bits and pieces.
Yeah, the teensiest bits and pieces. Sure.
And the stand holding up the ship? You took a bite out of that too, I suppose.
Oh, yes, dear, of course I did.
Why? Why would you taste the stands as holding up a giant chocolate ship? Why not just taste the ship itself?
Temperature 68 degrees.
Oh, come on, Ace Attorney. There's only one instance I can name so far of you going all out and using the number 69, and that's in the middle of the credits for Trials and Tribulations. Every other time it's 68. Where's your sense of adventure? I think it would already be safe to assume the cream is runny because it's too warm. Hardly logic-worthy pieces, honestly.
What? So none of this is confectionery art after all?
No, it's simply made to look like candy, with the cream having been added to lend it an air of authenticity.
I know Judy helped Scone get to the finals, but how much is actually sampled each round before moving on to the next contestant? Surely Samson would have noticed something strange long before now, even if he does have a taste disorder.
How old is she really, though? That's what I'd like to know.
It's not polite to speculate on a person's age, Eddie.
You mean a woman's age? Specifically a woman, that's important.
Would you like to hear a favorite expression of mine?
I'll listen once you add an S to expression, please.
Miss Scone, why didn't you tell us your stuff was confiscated by Mr. Tangaroa?
Dear, Mannequin said that if I spilled the beans, I'd end up being the one under suspicion.
Mr. Von Karma said that?
And he wasn't wrong now, was he? You two accused me yourselves a second ago.
But that was before it was revealed your non-confectionery items were confiscated. Why not try to live in the now? That was a huge info dump in the span of just 10 minutes. What, was Fender just giving Edgeworth the short version?
Well, what with the ice sculptures vanishing, things hit a bit of a rough patch. So rough, in fact, that it took a full year before they could even reach a verdict.
A year?
This was back before they brought in the whole initial trial thing. You didn't have to finish up in double-quick time like you do nowadays.
True, but a whole year still sounds lengthy for a case like this. Look to the left. Do you see two familiar faces? And to the right, does Sean usually dress like this, or did he not get out of his costume yet, especially considering the fact that the Tarsaurus reboot is still being filmed at this moment? According to the pamphlet, the Winter Wing is kept at a constant 27 degrees. Makes sense to preserve the ice, but surely you can still do that while keeping the room itself at a reasonable temperature. I mean, the sculptures are all display cases, right? I can't imagine controlling temperature in the cases themselves to be too tricky. Also, with that in mind, Fender really should have prepared for the cold temperature. Instead, it's his usual brown shirt and no coat. That's less protective wear than he had as an 18-year-old. Please don't do that again. I don't like having my picture taken. Which is funny because he didn't have any issue getting his picture taken at the end of Turnabout Goodbyes. Come to think of it, something almost like this happened at the end of Investigations 1. I say almost because the way Fender did it was more sneaky. Is it less the fact that he's getting his picture taken and more he was caught off guard, or is there something more? True, Fender and Edgeworth ran out of the winter wing, but it wasn't even much distance. Why is Edgeworth already panting? Even though her secret's out that Scone is actually a pharmacist, not a confectioner, why is she still dressed like a confectioner? Thank you for the dance. Can we get moving?
I call it the medical room, but it's nothing quite so grand, of course.
Who cares if it's not grand? If it's for helping people recover from illness or injury, it's a medical room. It gets the job done.
No way! Gummy almost looked like a real detective.
When does he not look like a real detective?
I checked the temperature. It's 26.5 degrees in here, sir.
Why is the autumn wing being kept at the same temperature as the winter wing?
It's not. It's 0.5 degrees colder. I have some questions for you, Larry.
What the? How am I a suspect?
I love this episode. In fact, it's probably my favorite in all of Ace Attorney, but I never liked how quick Larry was to jump to the conclusion that he's being suspected of the crime just because he's being questioned about it. I don't remember him being like this in Turnabout Goodbyes. The worst we got was, nothing criminal about listening to the radio, dog. When something smells, it's usually the bots. We've been saying that about Larry for 26 years now. Straight from the womb, huh? No, seriously, every other time Larry appears in the court record, he's always 1 year younger than Phoenix and Edgeworth. This is a case where he's now the same age, placing his birthday between March 15th and April 2nd, 1993.
Fine! Then I won't say another word!
Anyone who says this immediately breaks their promise afterward. Take that, logic train, you've been derailed again! One of the topics is to tell Larry to screw off, even though we're supposed to continue questioning him to capture his queen. What did you see in the winter wing, Larry?
You don't let up, do you? I told you, I didn't see anything.
Larry didn't exactly have incentive to lie about that, especially since when Edgeworth and Fender ran out into the fountain room, the first thing we see is Larry having stumbled in front of a collapsed Gusto. That's how we knew he had inhaled the poison gas after all. Though I guess it was more about the freaky statue in the room than the victim. Still, no reason to lie about it. Now that I think about it, why is the room all the way on the right called the autumn wing and not the winter wing? Going clockwise, the seasons are going in consistent order from spring, summer, then winter, and lastly autumn.
Ah, look at you, tucking it carefully into your organizer.
I simply thought I might have a use for it later. Maybe in the bathroom. What? I thought Edgeworth was more dignified than that. Was the stepladder already like that when you entered? Not the stepladder to ladder! Rawr!
I pray one day to make you see that your presence is not required at every crime scene.
Hey, take over the case, but don't make it sound like it's my fault I was here when a crime took place.
What did you say? A suspect? Already? Who?
Who else but your artist friend over there?
Gosh dang it, Larry! It's only been 2.5 weeks and you're getting accused again?
Unsurprising that you lack the attitude to understand the winning mindset.
Lack the attitude? Something tells me he doesn't know the real winning turn of phrase.
Well put, Eustace. Mr. Edgeworth does indeed lack a certain aptitude.
Hello? I completely quashed his case last time?
It was, it's this chemical you find everywhere. Can't think of the name right now, though. Wait there a second, let me just call him real quick.
Perhaps I can answer your question while Eustace is on the telephone.
Why let him make the call if you know the answer?
So he could slip up on the details like the idiot he is and I can correct him on that?
The gas was created by mixing two specific chemicals, ubiquium and asphyxion.
What's that? Painters and pharmacists in the crowd? Have you never heard of either of those chemicals in your life? Are you sure your college taught you well in your field?
Think I might have left my heart there, you know. And you might have picked it up.
Larry, you already have a girlfriend. You know, Lulu, the one you were paying the Gemini statue for? Perhaps it's your own aptitude you should be worrying about.
My aptitude? What does that even mean?
You literally used the word 5 minutes ago.
Only because Gavel corrected him when he said attitude. Larry, you claim to be something of a painter. I imagine you have some experience mixing colors. What happens when you mix red with white?
Don't treat me like I'm a dumb Edgy. I did graduate from junior high, you know.
Temper.
I wonder just how old she is.
Hey, you're not the only one. She looks not a day older than 18 years ago. Might I ask what you mean by you-know-whats?
The little blighters that frighten the life out of poor innocent ladies like yours truly. That's what. Oh, ghastly little creatures running around people's nice clean kitchens and terrorizing them.
Never before have I met a woman so afraid of rats that she wouldn't even mention the species by name.
Turns out the sculpture's glass display case is open from the top.
Huh. That's rather unusual.
And the temperature inside can be adjusted too, all the way down to 0 degrees.
Oh, so there is a way to control temperature in the display cases. With that in mind, what's the point of having the overall temperature in the room itself set so low?
You beat me to the answer by a second! But we'll see who wins in the end.
Don't try and tell me you nearly had it. You didn't have a clue.
Nuh-uh! It was Edgeworth making things hard to understand!
Really? I was under the impression I was explaining my reasoning in the simplest way possible. Do try to keep up, Mr. Winner.
The man was going to end it all! A dramatic, exit stage left, story of an artsy-fartsy.
Farewell! Oh, please, don't make it sound as though you had any clue Ubiquium could possibly mix with any asphyxiant. How could he know? Oh, you weren't even going to stick with that stupid theory anyway? Well, then why the deuce did you even make it? April 1st, complaint filed. Offense, theft. Item stolen, Infesticide Ultra, 1 bottle. It's a crime report relating to a theft.
A what?
See, you silly billies. I told you someone pinched it off me. A week ago, no less.
Yet the complaint was filed yesterday. Even with all that was going on with Skull being brought to the Autumn Wing, it felt a bit quicker than an hour and a half. Just saying.
What?
Did?
Huh?
Say! Eustace is so dumb he completely ruined the sentence chain. No, we may not be able to investigate the Winter Wing as hoped. Whoa, slow down, game. It's not Zodiac Hall yet, therefore to call that particular room the Winter Wing in 2000 would be wrong. And actually, in 2019 it'd still be wrong. Frost's room where the ice sculptures were made didn't become the Winter Wing. That honor went to Scone's room. You're making the same mistake Gusto and Fender would make 18 years later.
Mr. Tangaroa sure is a lucky guy. Getting to eat homemade sweets whenever he wants by the one and only Judy Pound sounds amazing.
If they're working together already, I'm not sure it has anything to do with luck.
Then why don't I take your picture?
Yes! Come on, Mr. E. Let's get a shot out of both of us.
Well, alright then. It would be a shame to waste a good hair day.
Both you and Fender are wearing hats. I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Those sculptures were beautiful. What a waste.
You can say that again. Oh, I should have taken a few more bites out of them when I had the chance.
No, the heck you shouldn't have.
His initials, huh? So if I'd made it, it would say EF?
Perhaps you should practice by initialing your personal belongings first. Really? I'm pretty sure there'd be an even bigger concern if his first name started with A, if you know what I mean.
PH. Shouldn't it be AF?
Gosh dang it, Bad.
Oh no! Samson, what did they do to you?
They didn't seem to want to let me sleep.
So your hair turned completely white in less than 24 hours?
Feel them melt, soft and smooth.
What is this, Ace Attorney the Musical?
What parent wouldn't want their child to walk their own path?
A narcissistic butthole who raises someone else's kid after murdering his parent to hate the very profession said dead parent once had.
The victim's blood was mysteriously absent, as was part of the chocolate chest it had pulled on.
I believe that the blood probably belonged to the person we just talked about having been dead in the chest.
The connection between Gusto and Frost? It was simply a matter of coincidence. They both happened to be taking part in the same contest.
That has to be the shortest testimony I've ever heard. You might as well just ask me to present the evidence to prove the connection. No need for the cross-examination.
Besides, even amateurs can occasionally make delicious food. Perhaps Frost was simply lucky. My wife, for example, is an amateur whose cooking puts first-class chefs to shame.
I wonder how his wife would react to the fact that these conflicting descriptions were put in the same sentence.
I haven't seen the autopsy report yet either. Guys probably got a hand in that too.
Where's the green text? Why is it not here?
A very conspicuous pool of blood that should be here is clearly missing.
Okay, this is worse. That red text there, it should be green.
My job is to identify suspects and ensure that every last one of them is convicted at all costs.
So you admit that the rumors are true?
No matter how you try to hide the truth, I'll bring it all to light in the end!
And if I don't, I'm sure my prosecutor's son will do it for me.
Wait, you mean they forced a confession out of him?
Past tense, Kay! Past tense!
I should have left with him that day. I'll always blame myself for not doing that.
I don't know, man. I feel like you being there with Gregory that day would have made things worse. I mean, he was stuck in an elevator with his son in a hysterical bailiff with no oxygen for 5 hours before Von Karma took out his anger on the attorney he faced that day.
We do not need to do anything, and you do not need to know the truth. This case is none of your concern.
If you know the IS-7 incident, then you should also know that I'm the son of the defense attorney in that trial. So yes, it is my concern. How could you say it's not?
See, I was on the defense team for IS-7, so this case is very much my concern.
She wasn't talking about you, she was talking about me. For literally no reason at all other than the father of little baby Winter, I guess.
Your connection to the case is noted, Mr. Fender, but I fail to see how it concerns Mr. Edgeworth.
Probably because my father was a defense attorney, which is something you yourself had to have known if you know IS-7.
Hello there, dearie. Still investigating away, are ya? You found anything interesting?
No, dearie. Well, nothing much anyway.
Oh, silly girl. That wasn't a dearie moment. That was more of a lambkin. Sweetheart is when you're being sympathetic, of course. Treasure is when they're in a tiz. Love is people you're not that keen on, and petal you use when you're trying to get someone's attention.
The British language is confusing. The tablecloth draped over the card is pure white and completely spotless.
And it's just waiting for me to grab it by the edge, clear my mind, and...
Kay, I cannot stress enough how bad of an idea that would be.
Oh, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
More broken pottery than just the one spilled on the floor?
Quit being mean about Judy's tea, will you?
What's gotten under your skin, Larry?
Nothing. You're just rude, that's all.
Not only was Edgeworth not being rude, that was no way to react. Even if Larry didn't want Judy to know he had broken a teapot, he could have just not been so jumpy, like he shouldn't have been since Trials and Tribulations. Good gosh, Larry.
I broke the teapot, a priceless work of art. It's in pieces because of me.
No words exist to describe how far away I saw this coming from.
Ouch! You really messed up this time, Laurice.
See, Edgy? Everyone's gonna think less of me now.
I already do for that freak out you had when I talked about the tea.
I don't have any money, but I'll paint your portrait. I'll paint you 50 portraits.
Just as long as they're sanitary portraits. You know what I mean, shut up.
What kind of business? That's right, it was the hiding the pieces of the teapot I smashed kind.
Okay, but what are you gonna do about the tea stain on the carpet? Someone is going to find that no matter what you do. I couldn't help but notice the color of the tablecloth. It's light blue.
Light blue? I'm afraid your friend must be mistaken.
Why does Capcom think white and light blue, especially at this shade, looks similar enough for it to be easy to mix the two up? I ask this because both this episode and Turnabout Beginnings had this in common. I don't think even Larry could make that mistake.
That must be where the minty aroma is coming from.
Again, not a single green in that line, yet there's logic.
Anything for you, Milesy Smilesy, and dear sweet little Tooth Decay.
I'd appreciate it if that was the last time you called me Milesy Smilesy.
I'm not a fan of tooth decay, either.
Well, you just have to like it or lump it. I can't change a nickname once I've settled on it.
Isn't it a courtesy not to use a nickname that someone doesn't like?
So the cloth that disappeared 18 years ago, the one that the victim was wrapped in, just happens to reappear in the fountain at the same time as the body.
Just happens to reappeared.
Cold Killer X fights back sniffles and sneezes with ease, apparently.
Can also be poisoned by your Cold Killer X.
She even got the ultimate cookbook back from the Tangaroa group after they basically stole it.
I'm pretty sure Samson was the one doing the stealing if he was going against the wishes of the Tangaroa group by using it as a prize for some confectionery contest. I do all that investigative work and questioning in the fountain room, which I'd estimate would take about 45 minutes to an hour, but the game wants me to believe it's just 23 minutes.
Miss Bound, perhaps you could explain why traces of ubiquium were found in your teapot?
I had no idea there was anything like that in there. Perhaps it's one of the ingredients in the dishwashing soap I use?
Are you saying you didn't know ubiquium was in the soap, or you didn't think about it while scrubbing the teapot?
But he locked himself in the room too, didn't he? Surely that, and the fact that he triggered it himself, wouldn't it point to it being a suicide attempt?
That depends on where he'd get the asphyxiant. Also, if he wanted to attempt suicide, he had many other ways to do it. He had no reason to choose a method so complicated.
Yes, I was able to create replicas for the Winter Wing based on photos of the sculptures he made.
Really? Perhaps you could go into some more detail on that. And when it puts us back to the testimony, we have to scroll to the new statement. Why not just put us there right away? Under theft, it says the statute of limitations is 7 years, but in California, it shouldn't be any more than 3 years. Also, like the first main game, 15 years is the statute of limitations for murder, but in America, murder doesn't have a statute of limitations. It may look like a sculpture at first glance, but it is in fact Mr. Frost's corpse. You mean we've been standing near a corpse the whole time we were in the Winter Wing? That's so chilling! pun intended!
Well, Shirley, you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Miss Bound's serving cart? What about it?
You don't see it? She's using the same trick she used 18 years ago. Ergo, we know that Miss Bound was busy moving Mr. Frost's body when this picture was being drawn. But what about that blue glow under the white tablecloth? Wouldn't the luminous cloth have to be plugged in to light up? Does it run on battery backup?
And then I put it in his pocket, hoping to make it look like he tried to do himself in. I also made sure to leave no fingerprints but yours, just in case the police suspected foul play.
But what exactly went wrong other than right now? Oh, I know, the investigation after all the gas cleared. Little baby winner. If things had gone according to plan, the whole suicide theory that Eustace was quick to dismiss would have been the general consensus. But even so, an investigation of the case the statue was kept in revealed signs of ubiquium on the underside of the lid. If the prosecutorial committee didn't want things on the down low, there'd probably be questions about the suicide theory. For example, it's possible Gusto knew mixing the two chemicals was deadly, but how would he know there'd be ubiquium at the scene?
There really is something of Mr. Von Karma in you, Mr. Edgeworth.
How so exactly?
By continually defying the will of the committee and bending the truth to fit your needs. That's how.
How funny you talk about bending the truth when that's exactly what you're doing, albeit under duress, but you're still doing it.
I wanted to see Frost work up close, so I went up to the Gemini. Sorry, yes, it was supposed to be the Pisces statue, and I saw that the lid was frozen on tight. So I grabbed a blowtorch from nearby and tried to open it.
I hope you realize how suspicious that sounds, right?
Yes, the number of shots he took didn't line up with the number of shots remaining.
What is with some of these logic lines not having green text? For Gusto's last chess piece, his opening suddenly changes. It used to be when he's meditating, but once he's down to just his queen, it's when he's in a deep sweat. When he's shaken up without warning. I take that back. He does do the meditating sometimes. Pick a tell!
As soon as I got my sense of taste back, I went straight to Zhongfa to start my training and cut off all ties with the kid for good.
Your own son, of course. It wouldn't be an Ace Attorney game if it didn't feature a crappy father.
And that ain't the half of it. No one knows where he is, even now.
Try the circus. I suspect that the bloody salt was somehow applied to the lyre so that it could be hidden inside the case. So when Delicious Scone went to taste Frost's sculpture, she was also tasting blood. That's almost as unnerving as the body being frozen within one of those cases for the past 18 years. Almost.
My son never showed up on the day of the final. And in hindsight, I wouldn't be surprised if Frost was the reason why.
Mind if I ask why that wasn't your first thought?
What's an omelet without a few eggs? Nothing, Mr. Prosecutor. Nothing.
It's only nothing if all eggs are intact. After all, doesn't the saying go, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs? If you spent 3 years in Zhengfa, and your accomplice, Samson Tangaroa, was on trial for 1 year, it means you can still be charged with Mr. Frost's murder up to 19 years after the fact. In other words, the statute of limitations hasn't expired at all. Statute ex machina. Also, with the time limit being extended to the suspect leaves the country, it brings to mind Manfred von Karma's downfall. It turns out, Phoenix probably had more time to take down von Karma than he knew, considering he took a vacation due to his injury. I say probably because I'm not sure whether or not said vacation entailed leaving the country, because it doesn't have to mean that. I only wish we could hand them to you.
Don't worry, sir. I'll make sure he gets them later.
Which would be a clear breach of prison policy. But we're at the detention center, not the prison.
I've got a perfect puzzle for you.
Who else but your honest friend over there?
My appetite,
No!